couple of days ago, I spent the last module of my year-long training for Women Mosh Gold with a group of awesome women, and all of us, we're gathering for the last time. So we're there with all of our energy, full force on, and really gathering our circle around existential questions, also really around what to focus on in our lifetime, etc., etc., how to show up for this era, for the species, for the global issues. And again, of course, we were hoping for finding the right answer just by asking the right question. So to some extent, we were addicted or hoping to find some truth by really going for truth. And I want to spend a few words around the term of truth, because to me, truth or the right answer has become a pretty empty game. And I discovered this kind of disillusioned relationship to truth and the right answer and avoiding the wrong direction, etc., etc. I discovered that just by tapping into somatic research and mystical research, and in a kind of consciousness work, also scientific approach to what works for human beings in terms of energy and aliveness, because pretty soon in this discovery it becomes obvious that so often we hope for truth from the outer world, and we hope for truth being a stable thing. And if we truly focus in our life on aliveness instead of concepts, we have to let go of that. First of all, and I don't want to spend too many words on, you can find truth only in yourself, because this is a more tricky part, everybody knows, and yet everybody is somehow also asking the outer world for feedback, etc., for good reasons, but that's another video. But this thing around truth or the right answer being a reliable, a stable thing over time is something that we really have to let go of. Because the more, and you can try that out on your own, but the more you focus on, I declare something as true that works for me in terms of adventure, aliveness, energy level, etc., the more you fully step into, so this is my God, because it gives me energy, because it makes me feel alive, because it makes me like I am participating in my life instead of just functioning until I'm dead. The more you combine truth with a path of energy, the more inevitably it becomes obvious to you, or becomes part of your experience, that over time it changes you so much, it transforms you so much on the path of energy, that you will have to let go of the temporary frame around truth, and will give birth inside to maybe the opposite pole. So let me give an example. I focused for years on retreating from people and being in my own space and in my private hobby of healing my childhood and my past and changing my inner world first. And now I become more and more a public person, and it forces me to show up, to somehow share. And it's not, this is something that you will experience in yourself as well, but you will experience it in those issues or topics that you are dealing with, or that are your path or process towards liberation. So there is something of us in the human and cultural conditioning. We learn that truth is something that has to come from outside, and it has to come from some kind of father figure or God, etc. And that is then something that we stay stuck over time in, or get stuck over time in, and call it religion. And in the worst case scenario, this leads to war, because we believe so much that this is true, so something else is wrong. And eventually, we are not even really interested in truth, but really interested in something that makes us deeply, deeply alive, and falling in love with aliveness and existence again. So it truly works to give it a chance, just stopping for looking for truth, and instead of that, what works. Like, should I focus on my inner world or on changing the outer world first? Everybody can say, oh, you should focus on your inner world. Who knows? Maybe you stay stuck in your private hobby of meditation, and the moment that you are stepping onto the street in the city that you live in, you freak out. So I would say, whoa, figure out what's happening in your nervous system when you step onto the street, instead of then withdrawing into, oh, whoa, 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 I'm hypersensitive, I need to meditate again. Like, why shrinking from the outer world that much? I would even say, go into the storm outside and stop regulating yourself or dissociating from the stress in the outer world by shutting down and calling it meditation. And this is not true for everybody, but I think all of us are somehow carrying around an own universe in their own nervous system anyway, which always means so opposite poles happen inside of us and are true inside of us. So truth is not about truth, and truth has never been about stability. Truth is a strategy. It's a strategic answer being given to a certain individual in a certain amount of time. And then it changes, and everybody lets go of this kind of wording for that and shifts to something else. And all of that will come up naturally in your nervous system if you really allow those waves that lead you into liberation, instead of you saying it has to be linear because my culture around is also linear. So what is true, to come back for a final time to this question of should I focus on the inner or outer world first? We don't know, never knows, but you know the answer inside by questioning, by figuring out, by answering for now. What breaks your pattern? What surprises you more? What scares you more? What challenges you the most? And this might be the best positioning of truth for this kind of question in this time in your life, especially for you.